Booktube, it's Kim at Middle of the Bookmarch. And yeah, it's been a little bit. No, it's only been a week. It's only been a week. This is my bookish week for Sunday, June 9th. And as you can see, my bookshelves back behind me are empty. I'm getting there. I move on this Saturday. So I get my keys on Friday and we'll be moving on Saturday. And that said, I will be off of Booktube probably for the next 2 weeks. Possibly the middle of next week, I'm not sure. It depends on how fast I can unpack. So just FYI, I'm not leaving for good. Absolutely not. So I will be back after a couple of weeks. Just to get acclimated and set new routines and unpack and get everything set up. And what I'm planning on doing is doing a personal library tour, not book by book, but a shelf tour. Once I get settled in and get all the books unpacked and all the shelves where I want them, then I'll take you through and show you what I've got going on. So today's video is going to be a little different. I didn't finish anything last week. I'm fine with that. I am currently reading 2 books. I have gotten farther in Mr. Flood's Last Resort. This is a carryover from Mental Health May, and I think I only have about 100 pages left. I'm really enjoying this book. I just have not had the chance to devote as much time to it as I want. Jess Kidd has never disappointed me. I've read 3 of her books so far. I've got 1 left, and never, ever disappointed me. Ironically, her first book, Himself, is my absolute favorite, and I gave that book 5 stars. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this one, and I think eventually Britta and I are going to read The Night Ship sometime this year. We'll see. And then my Jess Kidd reading collection will be done until she comes out with a new book. Now, I am also currently reading The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. This is a buddy read with Heidi and Doris. We reread the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I think we also all read The Hobbit before that. So that we're finishing up this project. There is no way to gush enough about the series, about the audiobook narrated by Andy Serkis. I just simply can't describe how wonderful the series is, this reading experience with my buddies, and I just love it. So we'll be done with this by the end of June. Really looking forward to finishing it with these 2 wonderful, intelligent women. So those are the 2 books I'm currently reading. What is the rest of this video going to be about? I managed to ramble for 3 minutes. However, I wanted to talk to you about what I've learned since unhauling and packing up and going through, touching every book as I pack it, but specifically unhauling, because I think I have unhauled half of my library and donated all of the books. Some of them I just gave to people, but donated almost all of them. And I am down to half. So how am I feeling about that? Let's talk how I'm feeling. I'm feeling great. I didn't think I would, but I am. Because I feel more unencumbered. I feel like I'm releasing things that I don't need to hold on to. I feel like I'm lighter, and the library is more manageable. So what I expect to happen when I unpack is I can look at my shelves and not be intimidated by the number of books or the number of books that are staring at me that I haven't read yet. And it's not really that I was intimidated, but this whole exercise has definitely taught me quite a bit. And like what else? I've started to notice a pattern. So when I've been packing up books, I'm like, why do I have this? Or when did I acquire this? And why? And what I've noticed that I did over the past several years is I've been making a library. And so I've been collecting books along the way, not necessarily because I was dying to read them, but because I found them at a library sale or, close to a free giveaway as I possibly could find. And I built a library for myself. These are books that I knew one day I wanted to get to, or they were books by an author who I loved even if I had only read one or two of their books, I still would start collecting the rest of their books. And many of these books were quite old. They were former library books. They were aged and yellowed and well read. And once I started packing up and once I started unhauling and putting things into bags, I realized I wasn't buying them because I was passionate about them. I was buying them to have them, to hold on to. And it was okay for me to let them go. And I had some collections of multiple books by the same author, and I only read 2. There was one author, I had 12 of her books, and I think I only read 1 or 2. And I hadn't been going back to that collection to read any more. So I can release those. I can release a lot of those books. And it started to get me realizing what I really love to read and what I haven't been giving myself the chance to read, what I haven't been giving myself the chance to pull off of my shelf. And so I've been gravitating more towards plot-based books and stories instead of something that's going to give me an artistic experience or teach me something or will set my mind racing or give my brain a challenge. I've actually been searching out more plot-based stories that propel me through the book, that are fun, that are mysterious, that are surprising. So I've looked at, a thriller here and there, but maybe less intellectually challenging books and more books that are fast and fun and have great stories, even though they still are wonderfully written and have great language. And I'm starting to realize that over the years that I've been collecting a lot of books, a lot of times it's based on influence from other people who I trust, even if the book I buy is not really my first love when it comes to novels. And I'm primarily talking about novels. I have to say, though, I have an enormous amount of nonfiction. For me, I don't have an enormous amount of nonfiction, but for me it's a lot, where I bought them and I'm packing them in boxes or bags, and I'm asking myself, am I really going to read this? Am I really interested in this? And if my first answer is a quick no, then I don't need to keep it. This is nobody's fault but my own. I mean, I have so many people that I've watched on BookTube whose opinions I trust, whose taste in books is impeccable in my opinion, and I have bought books based on those recommendations. But it's not really me. And it was very clear to me once I was going through every book and pulling every one off the shelf and looking at every cover. And I'm starting to go back to true Kim books, the Kim books. And I thought I would feel a little bit guilty for getting rid of books, because in my mind it's like the Toy Story of books, that they come alive in the middle of the night and they are sad. And they're not. They're inanimate objects. They're not sad. It's okay. And sometimes I feel guilty because I spent money on these books and a lot of them I haven't read. I'm just unhauling them. And that's not a good enough reason for me to hold on to a massive amount of books. Did I waste money? Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that if I've donated everything, somebody else will find them and enjoy them. Or somebody else will want to build their library. So I threw away some money. A lot of it was very little money, but still I'm throwing away some money. It's not anything to scoff at. So I do have a little tiny bit of guilt about that, but it's okay. And again, I'm getting back to my roots. I'm getting back to really what I love to read and what I reach for when I look at my shelf and I say, ooh, that looks really good. And that's kind of how I talked myself into unhauling a lot of books, is whenever every book I picked up, I said to myself, are you dying to read this? If I said no. And if I asked myself, what do you think about this book? And if I looked at it and thought to myself, meh, I got rid of those books. Because if something comes up in the future and I'm dying to read a book that I've already gotten rid of, I'll go to the library. There is no end to the source for reading. Excuse me. Ooh, packing is tiring. So there's no end of the source of books, and I don't have to have everything on my shelves. So yeah, that's the learning that I've done in the unhauling and the packing, and starting to get back to my own truth, my own reading passions, and feeling really good about unhauling a lot of books. I can't wait to start unpacking them and putting them back on shelves, and I can't wait to show you all what I've done. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have any opinions or thoughts, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.